is crucial. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Michael Goodman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There we go. We got interaction. That's it. That's all I had. So usually when I give talks, there are PowerPoint slides, there's some data, and there's a conclusion about how to make something better. So this story's a bit of a different approach for me. My former boss, who was a Louisville resident for decades, believed that we define ourselves by nouns. So I can go by husband, father, maybe even son or brother. But my most impactful noun is surgeon. I am the guy you never want to meet. Just ask my daughter. I meet people on their worst day. We try to make every day after that just a little bit better. And that process is all about trajectory. Trajectory is, by definition, the path followed by a projectile flying or an object moving in a direction. Bullets have trajectory. So do each of us. When a bullet's trajectory intersects with a person, that person's trajectory is changed forever. That person's path is to meet me or one of my colleagues. And we try to figure out the damage at the intersection of the bullet and the person. To assess the severity of damage and its impact on others, I've often used myself or those in my life as a point of reference. When I started out in residency training after medical school, I thought of people as young or old relative to myself. So younger than me was young. Older than me, definitely old. As I've gotten older, or what we call more experienced, and have kids who are now teenagers, my point of comparison is drastically different. Now, my worry is the gunshot victims who are the same age as my own children. It makes me wonder about their trajectory, about their past, their future, and are they really different than my own kids? Or what small decision or moment brought about the circumstances and injuries that we treat? Yeah, we have our bad days when our patients have their worst days. But it's the ability to watch improvement that keeps us showing up for work every day. One of the best things about being a surgeon and treating patients after severe injury is watching them become unrecognizably better. To see them in follow-up and we barely recognize who they are because they were so drastically different when we met. So let me give you two examples of the patients who keep us going. Several years ago, I met an older gentleman, older than me, about 20 miles north of here at our suburban trauma center. For reasons only known by him, he took a shotgun to his abdomen and fired once, bringing him to our hospital in profound shock. He came at a fortuitous time, though, because the operating room staff had already arrived for the day, but the scheduled operations had not started. So we had all the operating rooms and all the resources we needed to help, or so we thought. We took him to the operating room, we operated on him for 3 hours, and we quickly used up all the blood this small hospital had routinely stocked. We lost his blood volume 3 times over. But as we operated on him, our team coordinated the arrival of more blood. Our blood donation center downtown sent additional units of blood, arriving in taxis. This was before Uber. Because we had no other contingency plans. That additional blood gave us and gave him a fighting chance. After this operation, he went downtown to our higher level trauma center. That day, he underwent surgery again for stabilization. He healed, he was discharged, he followed up, and most importantly, his mental health improved. I had the privilege to reoperate on him, because to me it's a privilege to operate, to remove some of the lasting effects of the gunshot wound and our previous surgeries. and he remains alive, healthy, and grateful. And that's the best thing we can ask for. That is the true reward of what we do. However, last week I heard from a nurse in the hospital that this patient was asking for me by name, which is never a good sign in our hospital. But it was him looking for me to praise our work because he was a visitor this time, and he just wanted to compliment our team. Our second patient is a 17-year-old boy. Shot in the leg, which is not life-threatening 90% of the time. But it was for him. And his blood pressure dropped and his heart stopped. And the medics worked on him for so long that they started to use an automated machine to continue CPR on the way to the hospital. My colleague took him to the operating room, stopped his bleeding, controlled the injury, and got him through the night. And now, he is the first survivor that I've seen in 23 years of a gunshot wound that underwent the automated machine CPR on the way to the hospital. Usually these patients arrive dead without anything else that we can do for them. His body's been slow to recover, but he has the gift of youth, and he's getting there. We weren't sure if his brain would recover from the injury and the lack of oxygen on his way to the hospital. But then, as a sign of mental improvement, maybe gratitude, or maybe just familiarity, he started to insist that he get a fist bump from each and every member of the trauma team every morning. So why do we do what we do? That's it, right there. That fist bump. I got another one from him today. Or the patients who no longer need our ongoing surgical care leave the last appointment saying, "Doc, I hope I never see you again." That 17-year-old was lucky enough to come in as the only patient at that time, but sometimes they come in clusters. Mass shootings are defined by number of deaths, 4 to be exact. 4 deaths it takes to be classified as a mass shooting, which is odd because if we do our job well and we improve survival for victims, then the event may not meet this definition. So our performance can affect statistics, and statistics can affect advocacy efforts. In the Fifth Third shooting in 2018, there were 3 deaths, but obviously more were injured. By most definitions, this was not a mass shooting, but that doesn't define the impact of the event. We call these events mass casualty incidents. And our last one was on Saturday. 8 people injured in 1 incident of gunfire. No deaths. Taylor Swift says Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes, but we certainly try to. Or at least we fix the things that bullets put holes in. But we don't fix everything damaged by the bullets. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. Shrapnel, bits of the bullets, remain lodged in the muscle, bone, skin, and memory. We fix injuries, but we don't fix the whole patient. We don't fix the family or the community. So while we repair physical injuries, we have to keep in mind that there's impact beyond our surgical procedures and our medical care. We help patients heal, but it's up to them, their family, and their community to truly recover. All these efforts for the individual and the community are designed to prevent trajectory from being repeatedly tragic. We love what we do because we are deeply gratified when our patients recover. I'm honored to be able to be here tonight because one of our truly special patients has certainly recovered. But we know that we can't return our patients to normal. There is no normal. Nobody is normal. But we can give them a chance at life, and more importantly, at living. Thank you.
That was good. Sound like a doctor wrote it. That was good.
Dr. Goodman,
Fair
thank
enough.
you so much for those powerful words tonight, and thank you for what you do.